Everyone imagine that you're sitting in a doctor's office alone. You haven't been feeling well for some time now. The results of your tests come back, and your doctor tells you that you have cancer. The cancer is terminal, and there's nothing they can do. You have a short road of pain and suffering ahead of you before you will pass on. You are now bedridden. Your body is so full of pain, you cannot stand. Your nausea is so intolerable that you vomit every time you turn your head. You are unable to sleep, unable to rest, unable to eat, but yet you still fight through each hour to have that little extra time with your family members. There is one drug that will not cure you, but will tremendously ease every symptom and greatly increase the quality of life for the small amount of time you have left. However, the medical staff who knows this cannot give the drug to you because a politician in Washington or some individuals out in society living their everyday happy life think it has no use. Marijuana can help ease the pain, nausea, and increase the appetite to help patients eat and rest more comfortably. We know this because according to Livestrong.com, the FDA has approved the cannabinoid tetrahydrocannabinol, known as THC, which is the active ingredient in marijuana, for use in treating cancer patients. The American Cancer Society has also proven these positive results in treating patients with THC. The Institute of Medicine and the American Cancer Society also concur about the positive outcomes of using this to treat pain, nausea, vomiting, and improve appetite. The Institute of Medicine also goes a step further in saying that the sedation, euphoria, and anxiety relief effects should be thoroughly examined, as they also improve the quality of life in terminally ill patients. From the evidence listed by these trusted medical establishments, it is clear that THC can be put to good use in the medical community. Some citizens do not see marijuana prohibition as a medical issue, but rather as a moral one. If you believe it is immoral to legalize marijuana, I ask you this: is it moral to allow a human to suffer like an animal when they can be comfortable in their last bit of time left? Is it moral to keep this drug away from them because me or you don't think they should have it because we feel like it has no use, even though it would ease their pain and suffering? Sundial.edu reports that marijuana is much less harmful and eases symptoms better than narcotic painkillers. For that matter, it is much less harmful than even some over-the-counter drugs. Cigarettes, diet pills, even Tylenol have caused much more damage to human bodies, yet are widely and easily available. Also, why is it that alcohol, which has absolutely zero medical use in treating patients with disease, is packaged and sold on nearly every street corner in every city across the nation, while a medically useful drug, such as marijuana, is all but shunned in the same communities? It is true that any drug can be dangerous in the wrong hands, and with marijuana prohibition in full effect in this country, the wrong hands is exactly where all the incentives of this cash product are going. As reported by MoneyMSN.com, Stephen Downing, a former LA deputy chief and current member of the Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, Well over half of violent drug cartels' income comes from illegal shipments of marijuana. Legalizing and regulating marijuana would severely hinder their operations, and as a bonus, some of the tax money from the legal marijuana industry could be funneled into law enforcement units to battle their other operations of cocaine, heroin, kidnapping, extortion, and human trafficking. Time.com says we must take the production and hefty cash flow out of the hands of criminals and turn it into a law-abiding, tax-producing, regulated industry. To get an idea of the financial benefits of legalizing an industry of this size, we can look at the financial picture of just one city across the nation. In 2010, New York City spent $100 million of taxpayer money on misdemeanor marijuana offenses, which took less than $13 million of marijuana off the street. That's a taxpayer bill for $275,000 per day to take off $35,000 of marijuana from the street. That's every day of the year. Had that same amount of marijuana been legalized, sold, and taxed in New York City, they would have saved the $100 million in legal processing fees and made around $14.2 million in sales and tax, based on the present rate of 9% tax for alcohol in New York City. Their $100 million debt would have turned into a $114.2 million gain minimum for the year of 2010. Instead of a daily deficit of $274,000, they would have had at least a balance of $313,000 every day of the year. That's a $587,000 per day yield. That financial gain does not even include income tax that would be brought in from workers in the industry, such as agricultural to grow the plants, manufacturers to process the product, distributors to ship the product, as well as shops or clinics with sales and administrative departments, and governmental jobs in order to regulate the industry. Now that all these jobs have been created along with this income tax revenue, we also will feel relief in less tax money being spent on things like unemployment and aid to families living under the poverty level. Medically, morally, and financially, it makes sense to legalize marijuana. Taxpayers cannot continue to fit the bill for a prohibition that is not even working. It is funneling money hand over fist into foreign criminal organizations. We can pull our nation from the brink of financial disaster, create jobs, improve the quality of life for terminally ill patients by setting aside outdated beliefs and moral prejudices. Marijuana is here to stay in this country, whether me or you or anyone else likes it or not. This has been proven. The question is, do we take advantage of its uses and benefits as a nation, or do we continue to fund a losing war that will help bankrupt our nation for generations to come?